Yeah, so my name's Marc Haas. I write and direct short films. So after I had uh, actually during last summer, it was my last semester of graduate school in architecture, and my professor John Yoder had combined a studio class with architecture and film, and usually our studio classes are more architecture based than they are film based. But that's kind of where I switched kind of transitioned to what I'm doing now. So the first project we can look at is a project called Cyborg Pets, which was kind of my first entry into filmmaking, but in the animation setting. And then, further down that path, as I'd mentioned, that when I really transitioned from architecture to film, my professor, John Yoder, had offered the class my final semester at Kent State that combined architecture theory and film theory. And out of that, we had to produce a 2-minute silent short film. And then after the class, I'd worked with him, and we had come up with a 5-minute short film that was more narrative, and that was Carceri Uncanny, that I had shot with Peter, and Peter Shand. He was the actor and sound designer for the film. And Carceri Uncanny is about a person that lives and works underground and mindlessly powers a machine for the city above. We kind of contained it in almost like this Fritz Lang metropolis type world. And just to be interpreted more literally in that way, that he's an underground worker that's debating on whether escape is the best thing for him or if he should continue his life of monotony. Not too long before that, because I remember Parasite came out not too long before the pandemic, maybe a few months beforehand. So when I had seen that, I was definitely inspired by that movie. And when I started making Carceri Uncanny or writing it, at the time I was also inspired by Fritz Lang's Metropolis, so it was like, how can I combine these two inspirations? And the story is very closely related to Metropolis, but the setting, and I think the way we lit the scene was more akin to how Parasite was shot in those basement scenes. Yeah, I think just the background that I have with architecture is made me think about, or kind of at least shape that film for sure. And the next film with A Night Alone with Mr. Pembroke. But, how space itself can define someone's living conditions, or can affect their can affect their psyche. Yeah, so we, the few festivals we got into, one of them was the International Horror Hotel Film Festival in Cleveland. And we had entered it in the shorts category for suspense and thrillers. As I was transitioning to film, I did as much as I could to, research who's the best filmmakers or directors to study, and why should I be studying them, and what should I be studying? And a common one was Akira Kurosawa. We had talked about Parasite earlier. Bong Joon-ho is a huge influence on me at the moment. And then lastly, I would say Wes Anderson. So a lot of these are more technical inspirations. Like I said, at that time I was into murder mystery crime thrillers and that niche or that genre. So, that led me to discover Memories of Murder. But I think it's just a matter of taking what you like and just applying it to film. Yeah, I have an Instagram where I'll post some updates on some films or some film stills on my page. It's just Marc_Haas4. But then I also have a website and as well as a Vimeo page where you guys can find some more of my work. The website is marc-haas.com. So marc-haas.com. And then the Vimeo page is just my name, Marc Haas. So I think it's, right now, this advice geared toward people who are starting off: use your resources and just go out and make things. Just go at it as hard as you can, and you're only going to get better the more you do.